So the two starters that I have chosen, by the way, and one of them I'm choosing just because it's really interesting and I think it's more likely an off-season thing, but I do think something could pop in the summer if teams get really, really aggressive, including Seattle, is Pablo Lopez of the Miami Marlins. We've talked about him quite a bit before. The Marlins they have signed Alcantara to an extension, Sandy Alcantara to an extension. So he's probably not a guy they're going to move. They have tons of young arms on the way. And if they can fill some of their offensive holes with Pablo Lopez, they might be willing to do it. So the problem here, obviously, in the matchup is does Seattle have that offense? But we'll get to that. So Pablo Lopez, Frankie Montas are the two arms. There are other arms that are worth talking about. We just only have so much time. Luis Castillo, Tyler Mahle, Zach Gallen, lots of relievers like Tanner Rainey and Kyle Finnegan in Washington. Those marginal bats like Drury, like Ian Happ even, like Garrett Cooper in Miami. Whose walk year is next year, who could be interesting. No, he's hitting right now, and Miami kind of needs that, but Miami's not competing. Miami's kind of where Seattle is in a lot of cases, in a lot of ways right now. So they might be willing to move a guy like that, depending on what they get back and depending on how long that player is going to be able to help them. So Montas and Lopez for the starters. For relievers, I'm going to go with my favorite reliever that I think is going to be on the market. I don't know that he's going to get moved, but my favorite reliever on the market is Chris Martin of the Chicago Cubs. And I'll tell you why in a little bit. Also, as far as relievers goes, I'm going to go with Will Crow of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Don't know that he's going to be available for sure. Absolutely could be available. Having a good year. Not exactly a closer type, but a guy that I think a team like Seattle should be interested in. I think there's some upside left in Will Crow. As far as the bats go, we've already talked about Joey Wendell, so I'm going to skip over him. I just mentioned Cooper. I've mentioned Cruz quite a bit, and we mentioned Brian Reynolds a lot, and that's a major deal. And again, most likely a major deal like Brian Reynolds, if anything ever happens from Pittsburgh's side, is going to be over the winter, but you just never know. So offensively, I'm going to go with Ian Happ of the Cubs and Trey Mancini of the Baltimore Orioles. Now, both guys are in their walk year, so they're rentals. So I'll just toss that out there right now. But I do think they're a little bit more, both of those guys are a little bit more than marginal types. They're not Carlos Santana. They're not, I don't even think they're Nelson Cruz, since Nelson Cruz can't help you defensively at all. I think Happ can play plenty well enough in the outfield to, and in a pinch, he can play second. In a pinch, he can play center. But I think there's some interesting fit scenarios there. And Mancini, while he's just he's a fringe outfielder and can give you a little time out there at first base and DH, he can certainly hit, and he's got a lot to prove before he hits free agency this coming winter. So those guys are interesting. So let's start with Frankie Montas. Montas is the prize that's expected to be available on the market this summer. Hey, it's Jason Churchill. To get the full episode, as well as every other episode of the podcast, past and future, subscribe for as little as $5 per month by going to bit.ly/getthepod. That's bit.ly/getthepod, all one word, a link you can also find on my Twitter profile. Hey, thanks for checking out Baseball Things.